Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Good to see you all. Come on in the room, get settled. Happy Sunday. We are here for another weekly energy reading. I'm glad to see everyone. As you come into the room, say hello. Go ahead and say hi. Let me go ahead and pause the music so that way I can hear myself. Hello, everyone. I am Mambo. I am Coven Mother of Vision Adontor. I am the founder and the facilitator of the Charm School Voodoo Mentorship Program. I am your weekly reader, and I'm a dope bitch straight up out of Oakland. Hello, hello. Hi, Tiffany. Good to see you. If this is your first time here, definitely make sure you introduce yourself. Hit the scale emoji if you can. Again, if you're new here, the scales are really important to me. They're connected to my name, my spiritual name, in a really particular way. Hi, Miss Renee. Hey, Kodan. Hey, Bertal. Hey, Denisha Rogers. We will go ahead and get started and just hold on. I want to show you guys something. So if you've been with me for a while, you know that I really love pumpkins. Pumpkins are really important to me. This time of year is really important to me because of the prevalence of pumpkins. And look at my new candle. Isn't she cute? Oh my God. She's adorable. I love her. I can't wait for the wax to burn down so that way I can use the container for something else. But you guys know that as I read the cards, I also always have a candle in the background because I do read the candle flame as well. So I'm going to go ahead and light my candle. She's so adorable. I'm so excited about her. Okay, there we go. Ooh. Hey, Jada. I'm glad you made it. So if this is your first time here, you know that this is a weekly reading I do every Sunday. Depending on how life happens, it happens on Monday, but I try to do them on Sundays. And this is just to give a general overview to the collective, letting them know what kind of energy is ahead of them, the kinds of issues, life events, problems, blessings, whatever is coming our way, and how to be prepared for them, okay? So some of you guys may be here because you saw me post somewhere that I would be taking questions from the audience. I absolutely do that. I always do that. But after the collective reading is over. My only request of you is that you wait until I'm done with the collective reading for two reasons. A, it's distracting as fuck for you to be asking me about your light bill or, you know, your ex or whatever while I'm trying to get through the collective reading. But also, sometimes you guys will have personal questions that get answered in the collective reading. So in the interest of me not doing the same work twice, please be patient, get through the collective reading, and then once I'm done, I will pause and take a break to collect questions from the audience, okay? So we are going to jump right into it. We're going to use my tried and true, what is currently my favorite deck. We're going to use Afro Anime today. And then if I need to clarify, I will use either Pulp Girls or Millennial Tarot. And I tell you guys the decks I'm using just because I know some of you guys may be on your tarot journey. And sometimes it's helpful to know if you like a deck, if you are drawn to the artwork, it's just good to know what the deck is. Hold on a second. Let me light my Palo. I was so excited about my candle that I almost forgot to light my Palo and to clear the energy before we get started. So just give me a second to do that. Hey, Sanidra. Hey, Tori. Hey, Misha. Good to see you. All right. So we will go ahead and jump straight on into it. Ancestors, angels, spirits, walk with me. Please give me wisdom and insight into what the week of September 15th through 21st has in store for us as a collective. Please help me to understand what we need to know, what challenges, experiences, breakthroughs, blessings we will encounter. Magician flipped over, but I'm not going to let it fall out. We will encounter over the next 7 days. Who do we need to be? What do we need to see about ourselves, our habits, and our environments in order to walk through this energy with mastery? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. card did go ahead and fall out. Oh, my fave fell out. Queen of Pentacles. We love her. We love a Queen of Pentacles. So let's see what the rest of the spread has in store for us. Spirit is telling me to look at bottom of the deck, so I'm going to go ahead and listen. Everything you want this week is on the other side of discipline. And discipline is necessary this week for two reasons. A, consistency is what gets us closer to breakthrough. That's just the reality of the situation. You can be as talented as you want to be. You can have whatever insights you want to. You can have great connections. But if you are not rooted in discipline, it's not going to help you. So the Emperor is the first card, right? Aries energy, the god of war. And I love that the lesson, because there are many cards in the deck that are about discipline, but I love that this message is coming up around the Emperor, and I'll get into that in the second row. You have to be so deliberate about hey, Nicole, your discipline and what you want, that is your main focus this week, right? The Emperor has a clear understanding and objective about the empire that they are building, the life that they want for themselves, the environment and the protections that they have around them. And because of that, that drives their discipline, that drives their focus. Hi, Tashana. So this is a week where discipline is deeply important, not only because it's going to help you get closer to what you want, but because there may be forces around you, known and unknown, that are meant to distract you. And again, I'll talk about that in the second row. Stay up on your prayer regimen, right? Make sure that you're praying to God, that you're talking to God. If you are somebody that venerates the ancestors, if you are blessed enough to get wisdom through your dreams, through omens around you, pay attention to those things. They're not happening for no reason. They're giving you insight into the things that may be there to distract you, right? So this is a week where I love the Emperor, and I think it speaks to the High Priestess in a way that people don't often consider. And both of these are about cards that are about trusting yourself. So this is a week where trust in yourself is essential. Believing in yourself is essential. And a lot of this is because again, we are still in that bridge period between eclipses, right? If you guys watched Happy Hour on it was Friday actually, because I did it late. If you watched Happy Hour on Friday, you know that we are in a bridge period between eclipses. For a lot of us, the things that are being unveiled for us create a path for us to move forward. They create a path for us to move away and walk away from things that not only no longer serve us, but that weren't bringing a whole lot of bounty and opportunity into our life. So if we can move forward with focus, trusting our spirit team, trusting God's wisdom, moving forward with that wisdom, even moving forward in the uncertainty, everything that we move towards is going to be better than what we're leaving behind, right? So again, this Emperor energy is coming up saying, be focused, be disciplined, be committed to your objectives. The High Priestess, pray, talk to spirit. This is not a time to go rushing to people and telling them all of your fears, because people are fucked up. I have a love-hate relationship with human beings, especially doing the work that I do. And the last thing you want to do is put yourself in a position where people can exploit your insecurities, right? If you can believe in yourself, if you can trust in God, a path will be created for you to move forward and leave behind things that are no longer serving you. A lot of us who are watching this, either right now live or in the replay, are in fields where we interact with a lot of people, right? The Six of Wands is a card of influence. We are going to hit our milestones. And in hitting those milestones, we are going to garner a lot of attention and a lot of respect from people around us, right? My mama used to always say, and it's funny because my grandma passed when I was a little girl, but I remember her saying this too. We're not as good as anybody tells us we are. We're not as bad as anybody tells us we are, right? What does that have to do with the Six of Wands? Six of Wands being a card of influence, being a card of garnering a lot of attention. A lot of people are probably going to say things to you this week that are going to gas your head up. Okay? Chew the meat and spit out the fat. Hear what they have to say, but don't let it blow your head up. Because if it blows your head up too much, you will lose your focus. And if they're saying things that are not rooted in reality, it's going to drive you crazy. It is going to bring in confusion. And confusion stagnates. Okay? Confusion stagnates. I'm going to say it again. Confusion stagnates. Two of Swords. Having to choose between two options. Having to choose between two things. And feeling so deeply overwhelmed by those choices that you literally blind yourself. You literally sit in stagnation because you're so fearful about how to move forward. Let the attention you get feed you in the ways that are necessary. But if it starts to bring you confusion about your path, about who you are, about anything of that nature, let it go. Anything that is stagnating you, let it go, right? People will say things about you and you will feel like, well, where the fuck is that coming from, right? If you know who you are, again, Aries, the Emperor, the God of War, if you know who you are and somebody says something that is in conflict with who you know you are, let that go and release it. Don't sit in it. Don't let it cause you confusion because that confusion will only distract you. Right? That's why we started with the Emperor, why we started with the High Priestess. If it's not coming from you, if it's not of God, if it's not related to the spirits and the angels that walk with you, don't pay attention to it. I've had people try to tell me crazy shit about me that's not rooted in reality in any way, shape, or form, right? Don't get distracted by the opinions of other people, especially if it's going to put you in a position where you're not able to focus on your goals and you're not able to move forward in the ways you want. Now, if you can do all of these things, this will open up a lot for you in terms of opportunity. Ace of Cups, one of my favorite cards. Your cup being filled, love overflowing, opportunities pouring into you. Ace of Cups at its root, though, is also a card of trust. Do you trust yourself to be able to accomplish your goals? Do you trust that if you build it, they will come? If you are a business owner, do you if you're working for someone else, do you trust that if you work hard and you put your best foot forward, people will see it? Ace of Cups is about not only the trust we have in other people, it's about the trust we have in ourselves. Sometimes we do all this work to create prosperity. We do all this work to create opportunity, and we get frustrated because it's not unfolding the way we want. But if you're walking around with the disbelief that your needs aren't going to be met, it doesn't matter how hard you work. Some of us aren't successful because we have an issue with receiving. We don't believe, we don't trust that people are going to meet us where we are and pour into us. So the Ace of Cups is coming along to say, yes, your cup is going to be filled this week. Opportunities are coming to you. But if you have blockages around trust, whether that be, again, a trust in yourself or a trust in your spirits, right? It's going to be hard for you to receive those things. So to summarize, this is a week where it's really important that we be locked in and we be focused on our discipline. Prayer is essential. Prayer is going to keep us aligned. It's going to keep us focused. It's going to help us figure out what we need to do to move forward. Yes, we're going to be blessed with praise from other people, but we also may be, encountering a lot of confusion and fucked up opinions and weird stuff from people as well. That's another reason why that High Priestess energy of being aligned with your spirit, your inner spirit, right? The spirit of your head, the spirit of your heart, as well as your connection to God. Those are all really important this week in order to keep you focused so you don't get confused, stagnated by distraction from other people. Again, going back to the card that fell out while I was shuffling, Queen of Pentacles. Nurture yourself. Nurture your sensuality. Dress nice. Take good care of yourself. Talk kindly to yourself. Spend time in nature, because all those things trickle over into other people. Queen of Pentacles garners a lot of favor in her life because she treats herself really well. She treats herself really well. She creates a nice environment for herself. And because of that, people want to be in her orbit. And that ability to be tapped into the sensuality of herself, of her environment, of her life, brings her a lot of favor. And also, she herself is very, very generous. And that generosity that she gives not only to herself, but to other people around her, turns into literal favors that she can call on from other people. So along with that Emperor energy, make sure you're locked into your Queen of Pentacles energy this week. Are you treating yourself well? Are you taking the extra moment to make sure that your clothes look nice before you walk out the door? Are you putting on that perfume that you keep saving for extra or for special occasions? Don't save it, put it on. There's no telling who's going to be impressed by that. There's no telling who's going to stop you and ask you, where you got that necklace, or say you look really beautiful today, or chat you up because of the essence and the energy you emit. Bottom of the deck, watch your vices. Watch your vices. Devil card, watch your vices. Devil card is also about discipline. It's Capricorn energy, right? Have enough control over yourself that you're not letting your vices run you. If you are the person that has that drink or 2 or 3 when you get off of work to distress, check yourself. It may not be the best thing for you. If you are that person and when you get stressed out, you run to sweets, ask yourself, is that the thing that's best for you, or is it actually going to slow me down and fuck with my focus, right? Watch your vices this week, okay? So that is the general overview reading for the collective this week. Let's get into health and wellness next. And then we'll decide after health and wellness whether we want to go into love or money, okay? Hey, Super Czar, good to see you. Thank you for joining us today. Again, if you're just trickling in a little late, please go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat. In the words of the great prophet T-Pain, when you talk to me, I talk back. Say hello. Go ahead and leave a scale emoji that lets me know that you're with me. It also lets me know that the reading is resonating with you. If you have not already done so, like the video. And if you are new here, go ahead and subscribe. I do readings all throughout the week. I teach free classes and give free lectures all throughout the month. So if you are enjoying your time here and you know you want to come back, go ahead and go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. Hello, Terica. It's nice to meet you. Are you new here? I feel like I've seen that name before, but I don't recognize your avatar. So if this is your first time here, let me know. And if it is, welcome. And if not, welcome anyway. Glad to have you back. Let's look into what's in store for us with our health and wellness. Oh, dear God, sisters, angels, and masters, spirits, walk with me. Elevated ancestors, what wisdom do we need as a collective about our holistic health and wellness as we enter the week of September 15th through the 21st? What are the choices we need to make and the actions we need to engage in that will allow us to have good balance of mind, body, and spirit? Please highlight the deficits that may be blocking us. Please highlight the actions we take on that bring us benefit. Who do we need to be and what do we need to see about our habits and our environment that we need to be aware of as it relates to our mind, body, and soul? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Well, welcome, Terica. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoy your time here. I do these readings every Sunday. Sometimes when life happens, I have to do them on a Monday. But it's typically 4 spreads. I do a general, a health and wellness, a love and romance, and a finance and prosperity reading. You came in right at the tail end of the general reading. So if you would like to watch the replay after we're over, feel free to. Once I'm done with the collective reading, I will take questions from the audience. So if you are interested in having me answer a question for you, please make sure you stick around long enough for that. I would love to give you insight into anything you may have a question about, okay? So I'm going to be really, really real with you. Some of you guys are going to get some difficult news as it relates to your health. Actually, let me pull clarifiers because I don't want to play about people's health. I'm going to use I'm going to use millennial to clarify because that feels right. Yes, let's just clarify this tower. What is the tower telling us about our physical, spiritual, and mental health this week? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Okay. So I was a little off. Let me clarify. You may get bad news about your health, but we're going to get bad news, period. The tower is coming up to say that something is not going to go our way. And even though in the broader scheme of things, whatever this is that gets shaken up is going to bring us a lot of pain, a lot of frustration. In the long term, it's removing something that we were clinging to that's not for us, which is what the tower is about anyway. We're trying to force something into permanence, and it was never meant to be permanent. So spirit, because it's wise, is tired of seeing us struggle through bullshit, and it's think about a kid that's playing with some, if you have small children, kids love to get shit off the floor, right? Think about you find your baby trying to eat a Snickers wrapper or some shit off the floor, right? And you rip it away from them. They feel like their world has shattered, but they're not supposed to be eating paper, right? So that's very much what tower feels like. You feel like your world has been ripped away from you, but you're clinging on to some shit that you really shouldn't even be clinging on to. And towers suck. They suck. Chaos sucks. Even if it's for our better benefit, it's going to suck. For some of us, this may be related to our health. For a good number of us, though, this is more social. So it may be something in the workplace. It may be something in our social environment. Here's the thing. The blessing is going to identify itself almost immediately. Ace of Wands, new opportunities related to our passions. That's why I feel like this is around career for a lot of us, right? So even though you're going to have some sort of big loss, it clears the space to create opportunity for something new that you may have been kind of hard-headed about, right? Your hard-headedness will not let you let this thing go. So spirit is going to rip it away so that you have the space for this new opportunity to come through with the Ace of Wands. Now, here's the thing. It will put you in confusion, right? Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is feeling emotional overwhelm. Emotional overwhelm that makes it hard to see your reality. You can see things as threats that are actually possibility. You can actually not identify that the wolf is in sheep clothing, and you'll find yourself clinging to somebody who you should not be clinging to. Be careful, right? Be very, very careful. Do not let anything that happens or feels catastrophic this week push you into emotional confusion. And here's the thing, that's easier said than done. So if you do end up feeling emotionally confused, again, remember the wands, just like the pentacles, are about the physical body. The wands relate to the cardiovascular system. If you start to feel yourself get emotionally overwhelmed, turn that into an opportunity for exercise. Go for a walk, go for a swim. If you are a yoga person, sometimes when y'all know I do readings, I work from home. And sometimes I get off of a reading with y'all and I'm so worked up and overwhelmed, I have to stop and do yoga stretches, right? I have to pray, I have to wash my head, I have to do some yoga stretches. Ace of Wands, turn this into opportunities for new movement to get the confusion out of your body. You will be grateful for it in the long run, okay? Nine of Cups, again, coming after that Tower card. Whatever is being removed for you is creating an opportunity for other cups to be filled. So be grateful. Nine of Cups is a card of gratitude. Whatever is taken away from you this week is taken away for a reason. So be grateful for that. Okay? And if you find yourself sitting in moments of ingratitude, make sure you pause, do what you need to do. If you have to stop and write a gratitude list, do that shit. If you have to stop and do affirmations and remind yourself that you are a being of God, do that. But whatever you do, gratitude is going to help you navigate your health this week. Why is not how? You're probably hearing that and you're like, girl, what does that mean? It's simple. When we are in a space of gratitude, we don't stress. Ingratitude makes us stressed out. It closes off our heart chakra, right? It brings stress into our body. our cortisol levels rise. If you can exercise gratitude, you are in a spirit and energy of calm. And calm is going to be a necessity for you this week. We've already talked about the necessity of discipline in the general reading. This is not the time to get worked up just because things are changing around you. Hey, Carrie, good to see you. So make sure you be careful, okay? Exercise gratitude. Do everything you can to put yourself in a spirit of calm. Whatever's being taken away from you, you have to have faith that things are going to work out for you in the future. The Star card. Faith that things will work out after the storm. Deep belief in yourself. The ability to sit down and be in an energy of calm. This whole first row is about making sure that you are calm in a storm. Because if you can't be calm when things are shaking up around you, hell yeah, that's going to fuck up your health. That's going to invite migraines. That's going to invite nervous issues. That's going to invite gastrointestinal issues. That's only going to make you feel like you have to do all this extra shit to control something that is out of your control for a reason. And what happens when we try to take on things in order to exercise control? We stuff our plate, figuratively and literally. We put too many responsibilities on ourselves, right? 10 of Wands. A huge part of how we even got into a position where we're experiencing this tower moment in the first place is because we're trying to do too much. We're taking on other people's problems. We have way too much on our back, right? You guys have heard me say before, I quote this song all the time when the 10 of Wands comes up. Erykah Badu, Bad Lady. You got all this shit on your back, all these past memories, everybody else's problems, all these things that you're trying to carry, and it's only going to stress you out. One of my favorite representations, hold on, let me take a sip. This is sparkling water. We're not in happy hour. I don't have my Prosecco today. But one of my favorite representations of this shows, and it's in Hoodoo Tarot, right? Shows an older woman with her back hunched up, and she has a bunch of sticks and wands and things on her back. And I love that imagery, not because I love old women whose bodies are broken down, but it shows what can happen to you physically over time when you take on too much routinely. You can stress yourself out and wear yourself thin. You can age yourself prematurely. So even when this tower moment happens, it's not a time to crumble. It's not a time to start engaging in stress-based things like drinking and overeating in order to cope. It's an opportunity to realistically look at your plate, to look at the things you've committed yourself to, and ask yourself, did this happen as a result of me being stretched thin? And if it did, what can I do to avoid this? Because I'm being shown through this tower that this is not sustainable, that I have too many things pulling at my energy, that I have too many things stressing me out. This is an opportunity for you to have a reset, right? Remember that the 10s in the tarot represent that we're about to step into a new chapter. And the 10 of Wands in particular is there to tell us, hey, as we go into this new chapter, we can't have all this extra bullshit on our shoulders. So what do you need to release? What do you need to hand back to people? What are you carrying that doesn't belong to you? That's an important question. And that brings us insight. Ace of Swords. That helps us think about things differently. That helps us see things differently, right? That gives us new insights that spark motivation for us. Let this tower moment this week be something that sparks motivation for you, that gives you an opportunity to see things differently instead of being stressed out by it, instead of over drinking to cope, instead of staying up at night, stressing and worrying yourself. Let it shift the way you think about the situation so that you can move clearly and deliberately. Here's the thing, Justice card. At the end of the day, all this is meant to work out in your favor. And if it's meant to work out in your favor, there's no point in stressing about it. This whole health reading is about stress. This entire health reading is about the things we let steal our joy, keep us up at night, and understanding that that is a waste of energy. If you can move with strategy this week, and rather than hemming and hawing and crying over what's lost, really looking at the ways in which you are stressed out and overcommitted, and really dedicating yourself to moving differently within that, You will save yourself a lot of stress and stress and worry. You will position yourself to have a good relationship with your health. And it'll put you in a position where you're just much more grateful in terms of your energy. Okay? So that is the health and wellness reading. Let's do love and romance next, and then we can go ahead and wrap up with prosperity, okay? Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits, walk with me, elevated ancestors. What wisdom do we as a collective need about love and romance in our life? Who do we need to be, and what do we need to see about ourselves, our habits, and our environment that will position us to have the experiences of love we want, as well as be experienced by those we love in the ways we want? Give us insight into not just romantic love, but agape love, familial love, platonic love, our friendships. How do we show up in a way that is loving so that we invite more love into our life? Any wisdom shared about the next 7 days? What we need to be aware of, what we need to avoid? Any wisdom? Deeply appreciated. I came on here, I think it was a week ago, and complained about that mascara that irritates my eyes. And do you think I threw it away? No. I did not throw it away. What I did was I waited until the last minute to do my makeup today. And what do you think was the first thing I grabbed? Was that mascara. So if I'm doing weird things with my eyes or touching my eyes a lot, please forgive me. Some of us, I'm not gonna cry. Y'all know I'm a crybaby, and sometimes I get here in these readings and I get to weeping and shit, but I'm not gonna do that this week. Y'all, I'm not gonna do that this week, okay? Some of us within this collective, either watching right now or in the replay, again, remember that eclipse energy. We are in the bridge between eclipses. And this eclipse on Sunday is not the last eclipse that we're going to deal with for a minute, right? A lot has come up from our past. We've been triggered around inner child issues, okay? 6 of Cups, a card of nostalgia, waves of nostalgia, the card of inner child healing. It's about needing to reconnect to a younger version of ourselves, or being reminded of something from our past, being hit with waves of nostalgia. Some of us are dreaming about, it's funny because I don't know if it was happy hour, but you guys had me, I got on here and I told you guys about how I dreamed that I was at a toy store. And I didn't go into detail about the things that happened to me at that toy store. The girls in my coven know about it. And then I woke up and I was so deeply confused. And in the days after that, somebody tried me in a way that was really triggering around not only an inner child issue, but the way they were behaving was really childish. So the toy store made sense to me in hindsight, right? Why are you bringing that up, Soleil? I'm bringing that up because some of you guys may have dreams about people from a younger version of yourself or an iteration of you in the past. Some of you guys may get phone calls from people that trigger something that you thought you worked through related to your inner child. This is a week where self-love is deeply important because of the things that are coming up, right? Eclipses bring things to the fore so that we are forced to deal with them, especially the things that we don't want to touch on. And I think a lot of us are going to be confronted with the ways in which we thought we have worked through a wound from a younger version of ourselves, but we really haven't, right? And for a lot of us, either those watching live or in the replay, it comes back to ways in which we felt like we were not protected. Whether it was we were bullied as children, whether it was by other children our age or by adults around us. But there's something coming up that is triggering issues from the past around how we stand up for ourselves, okay? Now, you may be thinking, why is this coming up in a love reading? It's coming up in a love reading because it causes you to have nightmare energy. It's something that causes you to lose sleep at night. It's something that's making its way into your love life in a way that is complicated, right? The things that we don't deal with show up in how we love on our partners. That's just the reality of the situation. And if we're not in partnership, whatever this is around defending the self and not knowing how to deal with conflict can probably be a part of the reason why you're not in a partnership. Some people don't want to date because they don't know how to argue, not understanding that arguing is a part of life. So you're running from love because you don't know how to deal with conflict, and you think that all conflict is you being bullied. Ask yourself what this thing you have not confronted is costing you in terms of your peace, in terms of keeping you up at night, in terms of keeping you in a spirit of loneliness or worry. If you are bickering with your partner over bullshit, it could be because something about the way that they communicate triggers that little version of you. And you don't need to dominate them in the argument. You need to figure out a way to let little you know that you're okay, right? This is an important lesson. What are the things about you that you are not dealing with from a younger version of yourself that make you feel like you're not protected, that everything is a fight? And how is that leading to conflict as it relates to your love life? The answer comes from really taking care of yourself. A lot of us don't want to do inner child work. Because we live in a culture where we don't value children and we're taught that inner child work is bullshit, right? I'm in adulthood now. Why would I want to look at the kind of child I was, right? But another thing is understanding that inner child work is self-care. And the Queen of Cups is the queen of love and nurture, not just because she has an endless capacity. We treat her that way, which is fucked up. But no, when she's healthy and aligned, she has an ability to pour into other people because her own cup is full. And the Six of Cups is coming up. The gnawing, the dreams, the memories, the downloads, they're coming up to let you know, hey, the cup isn't full. And in fact, until you deal with this, until you look at little me, until you talk to me, until you remind us that we're okay, our cup is not going to be full. We're not going to be okay. And what do we know about a debilitated Queen of Cups? She's clingy. She's emotional. She doesn't trust, right? She's extremely dependent on external validation. She doesn't believe in herself, right? But when she believes in herself, when her cup is full, she's the ultimate creative. She's the ultimate nurturer. That's why she's the artist or the therapist, right? So whatever this thing is that you're not confronting about little you, and I'm saying little you, right? But that inner child can be an inner teenager. It could be the 17-year-old version of you. It could be the 16 or the 19-year-old version of you. It could be 8-year-old, absolutely, but it can be the 13-year-old, right? You know better than I do. You know yourself. But what is the message that they need to hear that wasn't given to them by the elders around them, that only you are capable of giving them, so that way you can rest, be settled in yourself, trust yourself, and move in a way where you can be loving to other people instead of being this person that's in constant conflict, feeling like you got to walk around with your fist balled up, right? I remember I went on a couple dates with this guy, and this is during a period of time where I should not have been dating. And apparently I was coming off very mean and closed off to him, which is something I have the capacity to be. A lot of you guys are really blessed to have met me in my loving phase of life. But when I was on my closed off shit, I was a lot to be around. And I remember he made fun of me. He was like, I bet you probably sleep with your fist balled up. Right? And I don't sleep with my fist balled up, but I understand the energy that he was trying to talk about that I was projecting. Some of you guys sleep with your fist balled up because you don't trust, if you sleep at all, right? You may be perpetually waking up 2, 3, 4 in the morning, worried about shit that you don't have control over. Talk to your inner child. Sit in meditation. Let your inner child know that they're okay. This is a death card moment. And for those of you who've never read tarot before, I know some of you guys are here from my vampire group, so you may not be familiar with tarot, and you may be like, why is she smiling at the death card? The death card is, we hear death and we get scared, right? This is a card of transformation. It's not literal death. You're not going to die. Somebody you love is not going to die. This is a card of change. This is about the death of an old version of yourself that needs to be released. Death of old habits that no longer serve you. And an embracing a version of yourself that allows you to move forward in bounty, move forward in power. Yes, Jada, it's a card of rebirth. Tarika is a Scorpio. Okay, yeah, Scorpios love the death card. They love the death card and they love the devil card, which is funny to me because those are two both bomb-ass cards that scare other people, right? So yes, nurture on your younger self, because here's the thing. It's showing up in your love life, whether you acknowledge it or not. It's showing up in your love life, whether you acknowledge it or not. If you are dating and you can't go on more than 3 or 4 dates with a person because you think that everything has to be a fight, that's something about your wounded inner child. If you're arguing with your partner all the time and accusing them of cheating and thinking that they're neglecting you when they really ain't doing shit, that's a wound of your inner child, okay? So this is very much a card or a reading that's telling us, hey, something about the way that we are not nurturing ourselves or that we're lacking compassion within ourselves is spilling over into how we show up in the lives of the people that love us and need us the most. King of Cups is the card of the compassionate leader. And they're not, again, very similar to his wife, the Queen of Cups. He's not deeply compassionate because he has some weird extra heart or something that other people don't have, right? He's compassionate because he's learned from his pain, right? He has had a lot of life experience. And in the reflection of that life experience, he's let it nurture him and turn him into a person that has a lot of capacity to understand other people, to understand human motivation, to understand that other people are not perfect. A lot of times when we expect our partners to be perfect, it's because we are parentifying our partners. What do I mean by that? It is unhealthy to have the expectation that your husband, your wife, your partner, your boyfriend, your situationship, your cuddy buddy, whatever the fuck you want to call it, whatever the significant person is in your life, it is unhealthy to expect them to meet the spaces where your parent failed. So we have to take control of our reparenting journey. And we have to take control and talk to that little version of ourselves and be like, okay, yeah, we know we didn't get this, but I got this now, and I'm going to take care of you. And if you can do that, that makes your romantic relationships a lot healthier, because instead of projecting your shit that you didn't get from your parent into your partner, you're showing up as a whole, fully actualized person that's not only ready for, but capable of love. You show up as somebody who's able to nurture and protect through love, instead of a person who's always looking for a fight or who's sleeping with your fist balled up, okay? So that is the love reading. We're gonna wrap up with my favorite subject, which is money. So let's look into what this week has in store for us as it relates to our prosperity, abundance, and our finances. And then after that, after this question, I'll go ahead and start taking questions from the audience, okay? Sisters, angels, and master spirits, walk with me. My elevated ancestors. What wisdom do we need as a collective about wealth, finances, and the flow of money in our lives during the week of September 15th through 21st? Who do we need to be, and what do we need to see about our habits, our relationship with money, the way we treat money, so that we can have a healthy relationship with our money? If there are any blockages, please make them known so that we know how to remove them. If we're encountering any blessings, please give us insight so that we know how to prepare for them and protect them. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Nine of Swords fell out. A lot of you guys are deeply stressed out about money. You stay up at night or you wake up out of sleep fearing that you don't have enough. And even if you do have enough, you may have a lot of worry about whether or not that enough is sustainable. Some of you guys who work for other people may be in an environment where a lot of people around you are being let go. And because of that, you are worrying too much about whether or not that's going to be you next. Here's the thing. Nine of Swords comes after the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is about projecting your fears into reality. Nine of Swords is about fears that are rooted in reality, but you have to be careful about not letting them steal your peace, about not letting them keep you up at night, right? One of my favorite representations of the Nine of Swords, and I don't remember what deck it is, but it literally shows somebody who's in bed, eyes like blackened, they're exhausted, right? And there's a literal ghost monkey on their back, right? And it's to represent the monkey on our back that steals our peace at night. If this is you as it relates to money, have some prayers that you have on hand, because here's the thing. You may feel this very deeply, but that doesn't mean that it's actually happening. And the more you lose peace over it, the more you lose sleep over it, the more it's likely to become a reality, right? And it may be a reality, but it's a reality from your past. And you can't change the past. So why lose peace in the present over money you lost 3 months ago? Or, the job that you lost last year? How is stressing over that and losing sleep over that in this present moment going to bring you peace? You need your rest. You need your focus so that you can make sure you don't get back to that. So watch your worry this week. Some of us are going to be really, really blessed to be gifted with an opportunity. If we've been trying to apply for grants, we're going to get them. If we've been trying to apply for a business loan. Hi, Martise. Thank you for joining us tonight. If we've been trying to apply for business loans, we will receive them. Six of Pentacles is money that comes from institution. It's money that comes from charity. Some of us are blessed to be the lender. So somebody is probably going to ask us to borrow money. Here's the thing about the Six of Pentacles, right? Yes, it's charity. It's money that comes from institution. It's the businessman who keeps abundance in their favor by giving to other people. But be careful who you accept things from, right? Bertal is here. And in our tarot class last year, Lord, that explained. See, this is how eclipse season is treating me. I feel like the last week of my life was an entire year. That was a Freudian slip if I ever heard one. In our tarot class last week, Bertal pointed out that the Six of Pentacles in its debilitation can be somebody who gives with strings attached, right? And there are some representations of the Six of Pentacles where the businessman or the lender literally looks like a puppeteer as they're giving the coins, right? So just because somebody is trying to lend to you or give to you doesn't mean that you have to accept it. Read the fine print. Ask questions, because you may be feeling relief from the offer. But again, Nine of Swords fell out. If that offer is going to bring stress in the long run, it may not be helpful for you, right? But what is given to you does have the opportunity to send you on a fool's journey, to put you on a position where you get to explore and nurture your talents without stress or worry, right? The fool is always shown with a very light load. They have very little on their back, right? They got that little knapsack, that tiny backpack. They don't have a lot of stress. They're unencumbered. And that's because the fool's journey is about being able to just explore and learn from life without stress or worry. Even if you stumble, even if you fall, there's a net to catch you, right? So whatever this blessing is financially, it's gonna position us to not be stressed. And in exchange for that relief of stress, all money ain't good money, absolutely brutal. In exchange for that relief of stress, the way that we show gratitude and the way we pay it forward is by being open to learning new things through this exploration of the fool's journey. Take time this week. A lot of us don't do this enough. Think about how you want your money to make you feel. Okay? Two of Wands is the card of the vision board. It's the future journal. It's literally sitting in your imagination and understanding that you can use your imagination as a spiritual tool, as a form of spiritual work, right? If you get clear on what you want for your future, it's that much easier to manifest it. So think about how you want your money to make you feel. There are so many of us who are watching this either live or in the replay that just know we don't want to be broke. But what the fuck does that mean to you, right? Does not being broke mean that you have $100K in the bank? Does not being broke mean that you own your own home without a mortgage so you don't have to answer to a bank? Does not being broke mean that all of your bills are taken? Get clear on what that means. Does it mean that you get to travel once a season so that a vacation is not something that you pray for every 5 years of your life, but that it's a part of your lifestyle? Allow yourself to sit in your imagination and really think about the future you want for yourself and about the passions you want to be able to explore as a result of your finances. Some of us are long overdue for that, okay? And so if you can sit in meditation around what you want your money to feel like for you, the kind of opportunities again, wands are about opportunities, right? Give yourself time to really sit in your imagination and don't look at it as a form of escapism. Look at it as a form of planning, right? Some of us don't want to dream because we feel like it's wasteful. But you can't create a new life for yourself if you don't let yourself dream. And I think that's a much better use of your time than wallowing around in that Nine of Swords energy. Here's the thing, another thing. When you dream it, it happens. And again, with that Six of Pentacles and the bounty that's about to be poured through someone's charity, whether it's charity from an individual or an institution, this gives you an opportunity to move forward with passion. Eight of Wands is Cupid's arrows, yes, but it's also an energy, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Eight of Wands is about life giving you a lot of opportunities, a lot of things coming your way, and you just got to ride the wave of those blessings. That's another reason why we don't have time for this Nine of Swords energy. Because if you're staying up at night worrying all the time and crying over what you don't have, when you get the offer in the daytime, you're going to be too exhausted to move. You're going to be too worn out to take advantage. So again, start thinking about the future you want for yourself and stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Instead of mourning and crying over the opportunity you don't have, sit in meditation and call it in. See yourself getting the keys to that new home. See yourself getting on that first class flight to Thailand, to Bangkok, to Costa Rica, wherever you want to go. And then when that opportunity shows up, instead of being worn out, you'll be ready. You'll have all the energy in the world, all the focus in the world. You won't have to stop and plan. You won't have to go gather clothes because you'll already have shit in your closet, right? Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. There are too many of us who are longing for something in terms of financial stability, and we're not even prepared for it, right? Every time I teach a prosperity class, I tell you guys to structure your prayers, to ask your spirits, to ask God, to ask your angels to give you the wisdom to keep the blessings you ask for, to highlight your deficits so that you can conquer them, so that they don't show up as blockages to the things you want. A lot of you are not ready for the things you want. So get ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. A lot of this requires you walking away from shit that's not serving you. Eight of Cups, understanding that you tried to make something work. And that in order for you to be able to have what you want and what you ask for and what's going to bring you peace and that gratitude and the 9 of cups after it, you have to let some shit go. Now, this is twofold. Some of you guys, this is literal and physical. You have not done a decluttering in your home in way too long. Get rid of some old shit. Baby, I don't know. I'm not trying to be mean, and I know you don't want to hear it, but you ain't going to get back into them jeans. You are not going to get back into them jeans. You still fine as fuck, and people still love you. So give that shit down to the Goodwill or take it to the DV to the DV center, right? But you need to do a big decluttering because some of you guys are holding on to literal physical things that are just creating congestion and clutter in your home. And prosperity can't flow in the space of clutter, right? But for some of you guys, this is connections. You probably can't get where you need to financially because you're talking to a friend every day that's calling themselves broke or that's shitting on the ideas that you want for your future. You sitting there and you really want to take that trip to Thailand and you sitting there talking to somebody that's like, girl, I wouldn't go to Thailand because ain't no telling what's going to happen to you. Thailand is one of the safest countries on the planet. I ain't going to waste no money on no plane ticket. You know how many bills I have? You may need to step away from that person for a while. You may need to stop engaging in those conversations, but there's something that you should walk away from because it's only fucking up your relationship with money, your relationship to being able to call in something different. And understand you did your best, right? We have this tendency to only want to be successful if we can have certain people with us to the point where we end up never becoming successful because that person is blocking our opportunity. So really get honest with yourself and real with yourself about the things you need to leave behind in order to get closer to what you want and do that. Okay? Empress. We end with the Empress for a reason. Belief is really strong in everything that's being shown to us this week. That's why that 9 of Swords fell out as a warning. Stop sitting up at night worrying about what you don't have and instead turn that into a belief of your worthiness. See, worthiness flew out of my mouth earlier, even though I wasn't trying to say it, right? And it did that for a reason. Empress energy is an embodiment of worthiness. And because she believes in her worthiness, she's able to be the ultimate creator. She's about birth. And that can be literal physical birth. Some of y'all may want to have a baby. And part of the reason why you can't get pregnant is because your stress is out. People, there's so much ignorance around female body and reproduction. You cannot create a baby in stress. And so you sitting here thinking you infertile, but no, nigga, you stressed out. Okay? But for some of us, it's not about literally getting pregnant. It's about the birth of an idea, the birth of an opportunity, the birth of new ways of being. And in order for you to be able to birth it, you have to believe it. The Empress shows up in spaces believing that things are going to happen for her, that people are going to serve her, that folks want to see her win. And because she has that deep belief, guess what? People pull out chairs for her. They open doors for her. They offer her opportunities. They create a comfortable environment for her to be able to create. So you really have to work on your Empress. And this is, if you male, female, they, them, whatever, this ain't got shit to do with the way that you understand your gender. This has everything to do with your energy. And I just want to say God is real. Because if you've been here since the beginning of the reading, you know we started with the Emperor. In the general reading, we started with the Emperor. Discipline, focus, protection, right? And we are ending with the Empress in the overall reading. What are you creating? Are you creating the belief that you deserve and are worthy of everything you want? Are you creating an environment for yourself that allows you to be able to tap into your creativity, into your imagination, and to really dream big so you can create new things for yourself? Or are you being Empress in debilitation? Are you being catty? Are you gossiping? Are you shitting on the girl next to you who's been able to create the life for herself that you actually want? Because that's a debilitation of Empress. Empress will tear down the next bitch out of jealousy when she does not see her worthiness. And we don't have time for that this week because we trying to get to this money. So if you're trying to get to this money, you need to create a sense of worthiness in yourself. You need to believe in your ability to create. And you need to let that belief manifest into your actual environment. And so I want to go back to this 8 of Cups. Stop sitting around with people who gossip and talk shit about everybody all the time and then wondering why you're broke. Stop sitting around people who don't have a fucking passport and then wondering why that trip you want is never manifesting. Stop sitting around people who scoff at you because you want to be an entrepreneur and they've never even fucking had a successful bake sale. Put yourself in environments where you are allowed to prosper and it's safe for you to show up in your beliefs. Okay? That is the money reading for this week. We are now done with the overall general reading. I went for a whole hour. I didn't expect to talk that damn much. I apologize for that. It's okay, JL. You're here now, so I'm glad you're here. And yes, you can catch up later. Definitely watch the replay. Share the replay. Don't hesitate to share this video with other people that you feel need to hear this message. I'm still trying to grow my channel. Help me with my goal of getting to 1,000 before the calendar year is over. So definitely watch the replay. Share this message with other people. I really, really hope that this reading resonated with y'all. It felt good this week. This felt really good. And I come back to me. Also, come back to me. I love it when you guys come back in the next week and let me know what resonated, what you actually experienced, how it showed up in the reading from the week prior. So definitely do that. Now I'm ready to take questions from the audience. If you have a question that you want me to answer and you feel comfortable and safe to get a live reading here, go ahead and put your question in the comments section so that I can pull a few cards for you, okay? I do have my Cash App as well as my PayPal scrolling below. Love offerings are always appreciated, but they are not a necessity. Let me repeat, especially if you are new here. Love offerings are deeply appreciated, but they are not a necessity. I know everybody don't have it right now. If you cannot send a love offering, liking this video is a love offering. Sharing this video with other like-minded people or on your social media, that's a love offering. Subscribing to my channel, that's a love offering. So if you don't have literal money to give to me, which, nigga, I'm a Taurus, I'm always gonna love some money, appreciate some money being given to me, support the channel. That's a way that you can pay it forward. Hey, Nisha. Nisha wants to know, and I'm not going in any particular order. I will try to get to as many people as possible. You guys know that I meet with my vampire group on Sunday nights, so I'm going to try to be out of here by 9 o'clock, but if I'm not, then that's okay. I'm still going to try to get to as many people as possible, all right? We'll start with Denisha. Denisha wants to know, why are they having so much bad luck? I'm beginning to feel like I'm cursed. Let's not jump to that, baby. I'm sorry that you feel that way, but let's not jump to that right now, okay? Let's see what comes up in the cards. What wisdom does Nisha need at this time? Nisha is going through a rough patch. She feels like things are going really bad for her. What wisdom does she need about what is happening? When will the wheel turn in her favor? Is she cursed? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. I will do JL after Nisha, and then I'll do Super Czar, and then I'll scroll back up because I know that there are a couple of other people that I didn't see. I'm going to pull a clarifier over one of these. Ancestors, clarify the Queen of Swords. Give us wisdom about the Queen of Swords. there's a lack of strategy in your life, Nisha. And that's how you've ended up in this situation. So the long and the short of it, you are not cursed. No one has hexed you. But you have engaged in a lack of emotional strategy, and that is going to position you where your spirits are warning you about being embittered. Okay? Some of the things that you have lost and that have been taken away from you needed to be taken away from you so that you can understand how to exercise better boundaries in your life, as well as how to be more strategic about your life. Queen of Swords. Okay? Queen of Swords is the queen of strategy. She's deeply focused. She's strategic. And she doesn't do things by mistake. Everybody don't have access to her like that, right? There may be some people in your life. So here's the thing. No, you are not cursed. Do you have some evil eye on you? Yes. Those are different. So I don't think that somebody is sitting with some candles and a chipped tooth in their demon closet doing weird things to you, right? But you may have attracted some jealousies by talking too much about your blessings and about the things around you. And that evil eye is having a negative impact on your life. So the Queen of Swords is coming up to say that you need to exercise better protection over yourself by not telling everybody your business and being much more strategic with who you let get close to you, right? Let this be a time of observation in your life. Knight of Pentacles is a card of observation. They're the hunter. They're the sniper. They're the only knight that's not moving in their artwork because they are observing before they strike. What does that have to do with you? Yes, this is a painful period of life for you, or a painful time, but observe who is getting off on seeing you struggle. Pay attention to that. Let that turn into wisdom and information that you use to move forward once you get your new opportunities and your new beginning. Short answer, you don't defend yourself enough. You don't stand your ground. And what I mean by you don't stand your ground is that I don't want to say you talk too much, but there are people that have way too much access to you, right? Letting everybody have access to you is spiritually inhygienic for everybody to be able to access you. So the Seven of Wands is coming up to say, in order for you to see elevation outside of what you're experiencing right now, you got to get comfortable with leaving a couple people behind. You also have to be comfortable with standing your ground around a couple of people, right? You don't defend yourself enough, right? And that will take you out of this place where you feel stuck, like you're in a financial tightrope, like you can't breathe, make the right decisions. Another thing, and even though this is not the question that you asked, until you get stable again, you're going to have to be comfortable with having a couple streams of income. So you may have to work 2 jobs. And that may pull a lot out of you, but that's going to be better than what you feel right now. Okay? But the short answer is nobody is actively hexing you, but you do have some negative evil eye energy around you. I do think it's necessary for you to do a cleanse. I don't really like to give prescriptions here on the live. So if you want to book a private reading with me, I can give you some spiritual prescriptions and things that you can do to take off that evil eye energy from you. But the long and the short of it is there's some energetic upsets because you got some evil eye on you. And you got to get better about not letting everybody have access to you. And you got to get better about not telling everybody your business. Okay? Let's see. JL, what is the real reason why I'm so hesitant to get on video to promote my business? What shadows are they? What am I really fearful of? That is a great question. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits that walk with me. What does JL need to know about her fear of getting on camera? What is the root of this fear? Where is it coming from? How does she release it so that she can do what is helpful for her in her business by creating online content and getting on camera more often? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. 3 cards fell out. I'll pull one more just for clarity. JL, were you bullied as a child? And I asked this because the 3 of Swords came out and it's under the 9 of Wands. There's a part of you, here's the crazy thing. A response to you being online is overwhelmingly going to be positive, but you are so fearful of the negative comments that outweighs the opportunity or the bounty or the blessings, right? Judgment card is saying, again, with judgment being about wisdom from the ancestors, this is something you need to do. They're ready for you to do it. It's time. It's go time. Your spirits are going to bless you tremendously if you do it. But you are fearful of not being protected, right? The 9 of Wands, the wounded warrior, and also a call for protection. So you need to have some protection regimen and some things that you do before you go on camera so that way it eases your fear about not being okay. I don't remember if you're still on my Patreon or not, but I have that protecting or enchanting your social media class that's exclusive to my Patreon. So if you are still on there, go back in the previous months and get the replay for that and use that to protect yourself, or just sign back up for this month so you can get the class and get the lessons. But you are fearful of the negative comments and like the trolls and the people, because that's what the 9 of Wands, that wounded warrior energy is. It's like, I don't want to have this continual fight with people. And then with that 3 of Swords, this is like a heartbreak that you have experienced, but you haven't fully learned through, right? We got to learn the lesson of the 3 of Swords so we don't experience the heartbreak again. And the lesson that you needed to have learned from being bullied in the past is that we don't run and hide from bullies. Running and hiding from the bully, that's how they win. The way that you conquer a bully is to check them. And keep showing up, right? So this is a bigger lesson that you need to learn, and it's honestly, your wealth is on the other side of it. Because again, you creating online content is going to open up new streams of wealth and income for you. So the short answer is it's a trauma response to having been bullied. And there's a part of you that still believes the way you deal with bullies is to hide from them. And you may not have thought, like, if I go online, I'm going to be bullied, but you are running from the trolls. First of all, the trolls they're probably going to be less than a half of or a third of a percent of the people who come across your content. But even if they come across, you don't run, you don't hide. When I first started this channel, I had all kind of weirdo people coming in here calling me fat bitches and telling me I was of the devil and I was going to die and I need to burn in hell. When I left my old spiritual house last year, and even sometimes to this day, I have all kind of people coming in on here gang stalking me, coming from false fucking accounts, saying all kind of crazy shit in the comments. I just delete that shit and go. And then I just wait for something bad to happen to them because, again, I enchant my channel, right? I am protected when I get on this camera. So if somebody wants to come in here and play pussy, they can get fucked. So you got to see that the benefit outweighs the fear. That's the only way that you're going to be able to do it. Okay, mamas? Do it. You translate. Even just from what I remember from being in classes with you, you translate beautifully on camera. You are very poised. So it's going to go well for you. And your spirits want to see you do this. So if you have a yes from you and you have a yes from your spirit team, you don't need a yes from nobody else. Just do it, baby. Okay, Super Czar. Will I receive approval of the medical leave of absence from both my doctor and my employer to get time off? Okay. I can probably do like 3 more people after Super Czar. So go ahead, put your questions in the comments. I will scroll back up and try to get to other people. If you have not already put a question in the comments, go ahead and do it now, okay? See, look, you got fans on here. She's so pretty. I love her accent. Like, people are waiting for you to do content, JL. They're literally waiting for you. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits, walk with me, my elevated ancestors. Will Superzar get approved for their medical leave? If so, what is the timeline? If not, why not? And is there anything that they can do to alter a denial and make it go in their favor? Anything they can do to change the situation? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. I see you, Martise. I'm going to try to get to you after I do a couple of other questions, okay? I can do 3 more people after Superzar. So just put your questions in the comments, and then I'll try to get to as many as I can. It may take a while for you to get approved. You may have to do an appeal, and this may be a long process, but you will get approved in the end. You are going to have to fight for it. I just want to be honest with you about that. 7 of Cups, confusion, a lack of clarity, a lot of options, yes, but in this context, with dealing with a bureaucracy, there's just going to be a lot of back and forth, a lot of miscommunication, a lot of confusion. So it's going to be extremely necessary for you to exercise patience throughout this process. But if you can exercise patience, if you can, tweak your application, resubmit things, right? 7 of Pentacles is a card of gardening, of pruning, of not chipping away, but, when we take care of a garden, we have to prune. We have to change soil, right? You don't just plant a seed and walk away from it. This is meant to work out in your favor, but it's not going to happen easy. It's not going to happen overnight. So you may have to do some sort of appeal or submit additional documents or information. I see 7 weeks, probably 7 weeks to 7 months. So it will take a while, but it will get approved. Ace of Swords, so that you can have some peace and an opportunity for rest, right? This is going to shift your insights. You need this leave, not only for your medical situation, but you just have a spirit of exhaustion over you, which is part of the reason why the 7 of Cups came up. So I see it happening, but not without you having to do some additional work in the situation. Not spiritual work, but literally like additional paperwork and pruning and stuff like that. Alrighty. Let me know if that was helpful for you. If that answered your question, please follow up and let me know. Let's see. Carrie Cat. Again, send your love offerings to the Cash App or the PayPal below if you are in a position where you can be generous. If not, I understand, but love offerings are appreciated. I have this man who's working on a project with me. He started well, now he's fucking up and don't have time for the nonsense. I did request a meeting tomorrow. Carrie, that's not a question. That you're just venting, baby. What is your question? What's your question about this man? What is? I'm gonna give you the opportunity to turn your comment into a question, and then put it back in, and then I'll get to you next. Because this doesn't read like a question. This reads like this nigga getting on my nerves, and I don't have time for this shit. But that's not a question. So ask me a question, and I'm happy to answer it, okay? So I will come back to you after I do one other person, all right? Tori wants to know, how do her spirits feel about the creative opportunity that her friend presented her with? Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits, walk with me. Is this opportunity that's been presented to Tori in alignment with her spirits? Is this something that will prosper? Is this something that she should put her efforts into? If so, why? If not, why not? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. If you don't feel safe or comfortable to get a reading here, because I know some people don't like to ask questions in the because I be saying y'all's names and shit, right? And people are a little leery of their business being, exposed and replay and everything else. Feel free to book a reading with me. My website is soleilconjureshop.com, SOLE Right now, my monthly special is the shadow work consultations. And those are on special because, again, we are in eclipse season. So that's the specialty reading that's at a discounted price. But you can get general readings with me for 15, 30, 60 minutes. I added a 90-minute reading because some of y'all are so fucking long-winded. Y'all need more than an hour. But yeah, you can get general readings of different time denominations. I offer love readings, health and wellness readings. So again, if you know that you feel connected to me and my style resonates with you, but you don't feel safe or comfortable getting a reading here on the live, you can always book with me private one-on-one, okay? This is something that can go really well. This can actually go really, really well for you. 9 of Pentacles, independent wealth. We've talked about this before. Your goal is to work independently anyway, right? And this is something that can set you up for a lot of opportunity with financial future, but it can also give you the opportunity to just be able to work and control your own schedule, control your own life in the ways in which you want. This is also spirit-led. I get that there are prayers that you've put out before in the past months about getting some sort of offer like this. So please understand that this is not by happenstance. This is divinely orchestrated and led. So your spirits want you to trust it. This can also just be really easy and joyful, right? That Leo energy of wanting to have fun. Leos don't like to be restricted or inhibited. And I don't see this being something that is going to be restrictive. I think this is going to allow you to have a lot of fun, have a lot of pleasure. So yeah, overall, Tori, this is a really good opportunity. I'm nosy and I can't wait to hear more about it. Okay, thank you, Kari Cat, for JL. I've had multiple people request a 90-minute reading. I didn't even want to come up with a price for that or put that on my website because I felt like a nutcase. But multiple people have gotten readings, and then we can get to the 1-hour reading, and they're like, "Oh my God, I need another 30. I'm just gonna cash app you the difference." And after about 7, 8, 9, 10 times that happened, I just went ahead and created a 90-minute reading. I don't like doing those. Those I always try to schedule at the end of the day because I need to go to bed after that shit. 90 minutes of just, yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent. So we got Carrie Cat. I'm gonna do one more person after Carrie Cat, okay? Carrie Cat, yes. Okay, hold on. Will he and his team respond to my email to schedule the meeting that I requested? What's wrong with him? I mean, professionally. Carrie, you funny. I love you. You are funny. You said, what's wrong with him? I mean, professionally. Because you just know he got a lot wrong with him, but you only care about the professional stuff. Y'all be making me laugh. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits that walk with me. Will Carrie's coworker respond to her email request to meet? Why is he showing up so unprofessionally? What's going on with him in this professional context? Why flipped over? Why does it not match how he typically shows up? Will he show up for the meeting? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Emperor fell out. You're going to have to let him know that that meat is greasy. And what I mean by that is he thinks that you for play. I don't know if he's somebody who's not used to having female authority figures, but so the card that fell out while I was shuffling was the Emperor, right? And the Emperor is very no nonsense. It's Aries energy. It's no nonsense. It's the initiator. It's the god of war. So you just have to be really disciplined with him and let him know that you're not playing. He's playing with you a lot because we have the Ace of Cups. So he sees you as a really sweet, nurturing person. He also trusts you, but sometimes, and he gets on my nerves. There's a very specific kind of man that thinks that female trust means that they can play in your face. Does that make sense? So with the Hermit card, it's like he does have a lot going on right now. And there's a part of him that wants to isolate, but don't nobody care about that. You're at work, right? So the Nine of Wands is coming up to say that, yes, it's frustrating that you feel like you have to be on his case all the time. You don't want to feel like you're dealing with a child, but you are going to have to stand your ground and you're going to have to protect yourself and you're going to have to let him know that you're not playing. So will he show up? Yes, but you're going to have to stay on his ass to make him show up. And you're going to have to make it very, very clear to him that this is a workplace and that you're not playing with him. But right now he's playing in your face because he thinks he can get over on you. I know you're professional, Carrie, but there's a gentleness to you. And so the overall, and that's why the Emperor fell out. You got to get a little tougher in the workplace. And this is I'm in no way blaming you for his behavior. No way blaming you for his unprofessional behavior. But you could use just a little bit more Emperor energy overall when it comes to how you show up in the workplace, okay? I know you don't have time for it. He's a Leo and may have to depart from See, here's the thing, and now I understand why that Emperor came up. Leo men don't like to be embarrassed. They do not like to be embarrassed. Leos are all about respect and reputation. So if you can make it clear to him, hey, this is hella unprofessional, this looks poorly on you, and if you can make it clear that other people see his unprofessional behavior, he'll stop that shit. He will stop that shit, okay? Oh, thank you, JL. Your Eclipse Bridge reading was great. I went back to screen record it. We'll take action on that and my shadow work and protection work. Thank you so much. I was nervous to do that. This week in Happy Hour, we're going to go back to the old format where we're talking about pop culture and I'm just taking questions from the audience like normal. But I have been enjoying every now and then doing the specialty readings. So thank you. Thank you so much. I needed to hear that because, and in hindsight, I know that I had less attendees because I did it on a Friday instead of a Thursday like I normally do. But yeah, I was a little iffy about that one after. So I really appreciate your feedback. We'll wrap up with Tiffany. If I did not get to you today, come back on Thursday. Thursday, I'll be doing a happy hour reading. I will take questions from the audience after the happy hour reading, same way I did tonight. So if I did not get to you today, I apologize, and I will get to you on Thursday. But I've been on here for an hour and a half, and I got to hydrate. I got my water here in front of me, but I haven't been able to drink as much of it as I want. And I'm starting to, those of you who do readings, you know, this is spiritual work. They call it spiritual work for a reason. So I'm starting to get a little exhausted. So we're going to wrap up with Tiffany. If I didn't get to you tonight, I'm very sorry. Come back Thursday. I got you. Hey, La Balin. Good to see you. Will it be in my best interest with my spirit team to purchase tickets to Freddie Gibbs' concert by myself? Well, I'll talk to you offline. I'm not going to say what I was about to say. You know that's my baby, right? Like, I love Freddie Gibbs. Like, I got a crush on him. And people make fun of me for this. But I think he's so cute. But I'm going to do the reading, and I'm not going to let my bias step in. Let's see. Ancestors, is it a good idea, a wise investment for Tiffany, card flipped over, to purchase tickets to the Freddie Gibbs concert by herself? Is it a wise idea for her to go to this concert alone? What are the positives? What are the negatives? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Here's the thing. If you purchase the tickets and you go and you are able to, I'm sorry, Tashana, I can't today. If you come back on Thursday or if you reach out to me privately, I'll probably be able to do it. But no, because it's after 9 o'clock and I like to end these readings at 9 o'clock. If you go with the intention of enjoying the music and just being grateful, you will have a great time. But if you go with a spirit of worry and nervousness, like, oh my God, what are people going to think because I'm by myself? Then you will fuck up your own ability to have fun, right? Card that fell out while I was shuffling was the Hermit. Hermit is a card of isolation, but they're not lonely, right? The Hermit is somebody who's taking respite and spending time by themselves, right? I encourage everybody who doesn't know what a hermit really is to research the word or the concept of a hermitage, right? Hermitages are, they're journeys that people would take where they would go out into the woods or into a small cabin by themselves to research a topic that they were deeply invested in or impressed by. And then people would stop in to join them and to visit them to learn the wisdom that they accumulated, right? That's why I always say the hermit is alone, but they're not lonely, right? It's a time for self-reflection. And this card fell out while I was shuffling because, baby, you need to learn how to spend time by yourself. You know what I mean? Like, without feeling lonely. That's a lesson you need to learn. What does it look like for me to spend time by myself and not identify it as me being lonely? 9 of Cups. Be grateful you got money to go to the Freddie Gibbs concert. Be grateful that you are in a position to do this. Be grateful that you're able-bodied and can go to a concert. Again, if you can turn this into an opportunity for gratitude and looking at the ways that your cups are full instead of focusing on ways in which you can be dissatisfied or not, or looking at what is absent, right? You'll have a really good time. So this is a hangman moment for you. This is about you learning how to be comfortable with being in social environments by yourself and letting yourself have joy instead of focusing on, oh my God, I'm by myself, right? So yeah, this can be a really good opportunity for you. You'll actually have a lot of fun. Let yourself enjoy it, okay? All right, everyone, I hope you had a good time. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you would like to book a reading with me, head to my website, soleconjureshop.com. The shadow work consultations are the specialty discounted readings for the month, the link to which is below. I also have several rituals and programs that I'm offering for the end of the year. We're doing one more round of the Rich Spirit Prosperity Ritual. That's going to take place November 10th through the 13th. If you're interested in joining us to learn about how to use the power of honey to bring more money and wealth and abundance into your life, click the link below to join the WhatsApp group and learn more. We're also doing Grace and Gratitude, which is our 21-day prayer program, right? And we're doing it for the month of November. So if you're interested, if you want support, if you know you are somebody who needs to meditate, but you struggle with meditation, and you want group support, consider joining Grace and Gratitude. My god baby Aja is also going to be adding a sound healing component to the program this year, which I'm really excited about. I love sound healing, and she is deeply gifted in it. It's only $15 for 21 days of structured prayers that are written for you, journal prompts, and weekly sound healing sessions. So consider joining us for that. I feel like that's everything for now. I'm going to leave it there. Come back, join us Thursday, 8 p.m. EST for the happy hour reading. Thank you so much for joining me this week. And until Thursday, I want you all to take care. Have a good night.